What's going on, everybody? Sorry, a little early, so that way I can get some stuff together here. So, just want to make sure I sound okay. Oh, Tipster's going live now, too. Man, Tipster has been all over the place here lately, and he. all I gotta say about it. What's going on, everybody? Sorry. It's been quite an interesting morning so far. I hope everybody else is doing okay too. I wanted to get started a little early. I have a couple of things that I have to do today and at home, so I wanted to go ahead and get going, and of course make sure that everything was working properly. So sorry, there's no starting stream screen or anything. I just went ahead and started early. Let me go ahead and tweet this out here real quick. Never, well, I can, but here we go. I haven't figured out really fully yet how to do this properly, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. I'll get there. Maybe I need to get people to help me or something. There's some issues that I've been having, so just wanna. Okay, tweeting that out. Cool. Let me let everybody know in the Discord. Alright, cool. Okay. So, went ahead and tweeted it out. Hey, Spectre! Hello, Purple Paw Prince. Yeah, I didn't have a starting stream screen or anything, so just went ahead and started it up. Maybe this will be easier for me. I gotta talk to people or talk to somebody about it, because I've been having some issues with starting it up and the videos not matching and stuff like that, so I gotta figure out what I'm doing wrong with that, but I'm not sure what's going on. That's why on Thursday when I went live, I had to redo everything because the stuff wasn't matching up, or I don't know what happened, but videos went all over the place. How y'all doing today? Sorry if I don't sound super enthused today. I'm just kind of tired and had a long night. Well, not long night, but I don't want to make it sound like that. I just was up late. We had a late D&D session, our first D&D session last night. This is technically like our second campaign, if you will. Hello, Soulfire. So, we had an original group beforehand, but two of the people that were in our group, including the DM, moved. So we unfortunately were at a bit of a standstill playing D&D for a while, and we just started back up with a new DM. We had our session 0 last weekend, and then we had our first session last night, and we started kind of late because of scheduling and stuff, and so we were up pretty late, and then I briefly jumped on Xylee's stream for a few minutes and saw all the craziness that happened prior. Missed the craziness that happened prior, but heard about it afterwards. So that was interesting. And then, yeah, just kind of woke up this morning and was just kind of not really feeling it. But I want to get this. I told y'all that I would stream today, so I am. So I'm hoping that this will maybe perk me up. And then also, I wanted to tell the story because I've been wanting to do this story now for the last few weeks, but haven't gotten around to it. You've been wanting to try D&D. D&D is really fun. It's super super fun. Um, my wifey in real life, that's what I call her. Uh, this is her first time playing like ever, so we're slowly showing her how to do it and making sure that she gets it. But so far, she's been doing great. Like, but last night was one of her first times that she's ever played, and she did really really well. So I'm still learning too. I'm no expert in it either. I'm still learning. Shoot. I'm a barbarian. I just hit stuff. That's what I'm supposed to do right now. So once we get the campaign going, I'll share more of it. But right now, we're just kind of getting to know everybody. We're trying to get to know the party and things like that. So right now, we really don't have a storyline per se that we know of or that we're being told yet. But maybe we will here soon. So okay, I'm gonna give it just a few more minutes, and then we'll get started. What's everybody doing on this lovely Sunday, huh? Maybe just a minute here. Okay, we'll do that later. All right, so I'll go ahead and get started here in a minute, but a bit of backstory about this particular story. So, um, this story that I have for you does have a happy ending, thankfully. Like I said the other night, so that's a major major plus. Um, it involves quite a few people. Unfortunately, as I was looking into this, there are some things, some little bit of stuff that may context may be missing with this because again, it was this happened this particular story. This happened in 2008. So this happened. Oh, I gotta do math now. This happened like 15 years ago, give or take now. So it's, but it went on for, I think the case finally got resolved in like 2011, somewhere around there. So, shoot, 2008, that was 2 years after I graduated high school. Ooh. Um, which is crazy. But anyway, so the details of this are kind of limited as to like what if I was able to find more detail and things of that nature. That's essentially what I'm trying to get at. Sorry. But the the story itself is still really really cool. With how everything came up, but meaning with the happy ending with what's going to happen, and I'll explain that in a minute. I'm sorry if I'm just spewing out a bunch of word salad right now. Please forgive me. My brain is not all the way here. I apologize. I joined a group. Wait, I joined a group once, but it ended up falling through. We never played. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha, Soulfire. Okay. I didn't. Was it. Again, brain not here right now. Sorry. Hello, Miss Van Luke. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Um, so yeah, I apologize if it doesn't seem like that there's a lot of detail to this story. It's just that at the time when this story came out, um, social media was still kind of getting on the ground and things of that nature. So there really wasn't like a whole like documentary or anything like that with this that became super popular. Again, this story not so much fell under the radar, but it kind of did in a sense. It kind of did at the same time, in a way. It was a huge story. Don't get me wrong. The kids that this involved, which we'll get into, they, I think one or both of them ended up on Oprah at one point. Yeah, this was when Oprah was still on. Okay, when Oprah was still on the air, she had, I want to say she had just one of them Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. I'll have to see if I can find the video on it. Um, or I tried to find it, but it wasn't. It was just like clips. It wasn't like the full show. And I'm not wanting to get copyright stricken by any means, so I didn't feel like it would uh, work out, so I didn't add it on here. But the case that I'm going over today, his name is Michael Devlin. Let me get his information. Let me get some stuff pulled up on him. Give me 1 second. I thought I had it pulled up, but I didn't. All right, cool. Oops, isn't that coming up? Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Why is it not coming up? Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, here we go. Sorry. Sorry. Why is it not coming up? Goodness me. Hold on. Give me 1 second. That's probably why. Hold on. Ah, there we go. Okay. All right. So, this Mr. Gentleman right here in the corner, that is Michael J. Devlin. He is an American criminal convicted of kidnapping and sexually abusing two young boys. The two main people in this story, Sean Hornbeck and Ben Ownby. He is currently serving 74 life sentences plus 2,020 years. Yeah. At Western Missouri Correctional Center in Cameron, Missouri. Yes, this is another Missouri story. His life sentences are 30 years each. His total sentence is 4,240 years. Now, the part of the reason why this story is kind of significant in a way is he had been accused, or it was thought that he was accused of doing something like this for a very, very, very long time. And it was, I think it says in here, it was I don't want to say predicted, but he was accused of at one point, I think, hold on, let me see if I can find it. Okay. Oh, hold on, you guys. Somebody's at my door. Gosh dang it. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. Every time I get on stream, something happens, right? So, anyway, uh, the hubby is having somebody over that is helping him out with some stuff, and yeah. Anyway, let's see who else here. Hi, Huggy. Hi, Jacob. Hi, Nuke. So anyway, where was I? Oh, I was talking about the. So I think in one of the stories that I pulled up, I'm not sure if it's in this Wikipedia article. It might be in the my other notes, but it was believed that he was accused of kidnapping. I think 8 kids at one point, but he was only charged with 2. Um, and that was with Sean and Ben. Let's see here. Let's see. Let me see if I can find that. Hold on. I want to make sure that I'm right. Uh, let's see. Anyway, if I can find it, I will. Let's see. No, hold on. I want to look for it now. Okay. Yeah, and I'll have to find it later, but yeah, this wasn't these 2 boys was not the first go around for him. He only got caught with these 2 and was charged. So that's who he was charged with, was the kidnapping and unfortunately the sexual assault and among other things of these 2 boys. Um what was also kind of significant too at the time was Michael worked at a pizza place. It's a local pizza place here at the time of that at all this was going on. Um, he worked for a company. It's a local pizza company here. It's called Emos. Now, for those of you who don't know what Emos is a local franchise pizza uh, restaurant here in Missouri. They have locations throughout all of St. Louis, all of Missouri, and I think that they even have some in Illinois. It's mostly like a Midwest staple. They're like the square beyond compare. That's how he got caught. Was how he was working there one day, and an FBI agent happened to come in that was investigating the case. They were trying to get to talk to him, and I guess he kept avoiding them, and they caught him at his job. And yeah, that was a huge thing at the time. And I also used to, way back in the day, used to work for this company. So yeah, that was fun. Um, Again, that was a long, long time ago. Let's see here. Thank you, dear. Sorry, hubby was bringing me food. Hi, Squatchin. So don't show Mitch this, please. I don't want to trigger him. Sorry, I had to. That's probably dumb. I'm sorry. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and pull up the video here. Give me 1 second. Let me go back. No, not everyone that works at emos looks like an emo. Well, okay, I take that back. Back in the day, they did. When I first worked there, don't get me wrong, but not that I know of anymore. No. So, let's see. Let me pull up this video here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, this is the video that I wasn't able to get to work, so I'm not sure if it'll work now or not. So, I'm hoping it will this time. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get this planned out as much as I can. Where is that video? Let me make sure that this is the right one. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is the right video or not. Give me a second here. Oh, shoot. Yeah, no, that's the wrong one. Okay. Alrighty. So I got a video here. This is the second video that I found of it. We'll go ahead and get that pulled up here. Give me 1 second. Okay, can you guys see that now? Cool. Okay. Sorry. All right. So, we'll go ahead and get started. This video's not that long. It's only about 25 minutes or so, and then we can go ahead and get started on some other stuff, or I can try to attempt to fill in the blanks as far as what I was able to find out if they miss anything in here, but we'll go ahead and get started. So, hope y'all are ready. Okay. Let's go. Let me know if that's loud enough too, guys. Is that loud enough?
Hey everyone, my name is Nikki Young and this is Serial Napper, an international true crime podcast. I'm back with another true crime story to lull you to sleep or perhaps to give you nightmares. This is a particularly terrible case. It involves children and sexual abuse, so I just wanted to give you a heads up before you go any further. If you feel like you might not be in the right mental space to hear this kind of content, maybe skip to the next episode. And as always, I promise to be respectful while also giving you all the full details of the case.
I've seen some of her videos before. She's actually pretty good. I haven't seen this one in a little bit, but yeah, I've seen her before. She's actually pretty good.
So let's jump right in. The story of Shawn Hornbeck and Ben Ownby is also known as the Missouri Miracle, and by the end of this episode, you'll understand why. So let's start right at the very beginning with Shawn Hornbeck, who was just an 11-year-old little boy riding his bike on the day that he disappeared. It was October 6th, 2002, and at around 1:15 p.m. in the afternoon, Shawn headed towards his friend's house on his lime green bicycle.
Yeah, that's Shawn. So that's the one. Yeah, that's. Oof. His
friend only lived a short distance away in the small town of Richwoods, Missouri, and it was a route that Shawn was very familiar with. He had taken it many times before. While en route, he was lightly struck by a man driving a white truck. The driver would later be identified as Michael Devlin, and he...
Look at that creeper. Ooh, that's an old picture of him. I don't even want to know what he looks like now. Ooh. Let's see. Hello, Ren. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. She looks like Jodie Foster. What? You think she looks like Jodie Foster? I don't see it. But yeah, that's him. That creeper dude. Ugh.
He had planned this entire scenario out. Devlin jumped out of his truck and rushed over to Shawn, pretending to be concerned whether he was okay or not. Shawn told him that he was fine, but he had no idea what kind of danger he was in. Devlin grabbed him off the ground and put him in the truck before driving off. All of it happened just that fast, and in the blink of an eye, Shawn was gone.
Isn't that, it's just, like, seriously, like, legit, a lot of people don't think that that can happen to you, but it can. You know, it is possible. Now, again, I know I'm a mom. I get it. You can't always think about that, and you can't have that lingering or dwelling on you. I get it. You know, even if you're not a parent, you can't always think like that. You can't live in that kind of headspace. I understand. But what a lot of people don't seem to understand is, like, with this case and with another case that a lot of people may if you're familiar with it, with the Elizabeth Smart case too, that happened literally just like that. Like literally in a blink of an eye, that can happen, and it's really sad, but it's true. And not a lot of people think about that or are aware of it, but unfortunately, these things do happen. So just gotta be careful, y'all. Be very, very careful.
When Sean didn't return home that evening, his parents weren't immediately concerned, and they thought that he had probably just lost track of time and he was running a little bit late. This is an 11-year-old little boy we're talking about, and he was supposed to be playing with a friend. But
Yeah, see, this was also back in the day, too, when, I mean, you could get away with it now if you really wanted. I don't know. I try not to do this too much in this day and age, but I mean, this was also a time when kids could just go off to a friend's houses and the parents would just be like, "Oh, okay, you have fun," or "Be back in home for dinner." This was when that was still going on, right? So, I mean, it's really weird to think about nowadays because now it's just like you know, some people wouldn't even think of doing that, and that's on them, and that's fine. No judgment. But where do you draw the line, you know? Where do you draw the line? And Jacob, that's my dog. Sorry. That's my dog. That guy looks like Destiny. What? Which guy? Which guy looks like Destiny? The Michael Devlin? No, he doesn't. Y'all are silly. But yeah, so that's why, you know, again, even if you're not a parent and you just know people who have kids or whatever your situation is, it's why it's oh God, I can't even imagine. I really can't. I really, really can't.
when 45 minutes had passed and their little boy still wasn't home, they knew that something was wrong. Sean's mother, Pam, would say that she had this gut feeling in her stomach that something terrible had happened. Along with her husband, Craig, they got in their car and they drove around the neighborhood looking for Sean. They followed the same tracks that he would have taken to get to his friend's house, but there was no sign of him. They decided to go back home, write down a list of places that he might be, along with the phone numbers, and get calling.
Oh, dude, I would be again, I hate to repeat myself, but who, you know, I have nephews too, and I have a niece, and let me tell you what. Besides, obviously, we all know what I would do if it were my daughter. I would be flipping the hell out. But even if it was, like I said, my nephews or my niece or anything, nope. Oh, I would be up day and night looking for them, and I would be totally beside myself. Ugh, I can't even imagine.
It quickly became apparent that Sean never made it to his friend's house that night. Meanwhile, Sean was being taken to an apartment in St. Louis, Missouri by Michael Devlin, who was a man in his 40s and worked as a pizza restaurant manager.
Ugh, look at that creeper. Okay, I'm not gonna stay on him too long. He creeps me out.
The plan.
Okay, there we go. What breed of dog do you have? I have a black lab, or we have a black lab, and he is Pluto. His name is Pluto, and he is a butthead. But I love him to death. We did have cats, but unfortunately they passed away. Um, uh, one of them the first one passed away in 2020, and the other one passed away in March of this year, sadly. So, but we just have Pluto now. Yes, Jacob, St. Louis is in Missouri. But there's also well, I'm not exactly sure. I have never been there, but there's a St. Louis Cathedral in New Orleans. And I believe St. Louis Cathedral is what was I thinking of? I'm not sure if it's a town or not. I don't know, but I know that there's a St. Louis Cathedral in New Orleans. And I want to say that it might be uh, what is the word I'm looking for? It might be like where they have like different uh graves and stuff there too. I'm not sure. I just know that it's a cathedral. Oh, thank you, Van Luke. Thank you. Yes, purple. Black love labs are awesome. He's uh Pluto will be 3 or not 3, 4. He just turned 4. He turned 4 in January. Yeah, yeah, Jacob. Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know of any other Saint. I think there's one in Minnesota. Now that I think about it, maybe I don't know, but yeah, most people think of St. Louis, they think of St. Louis, Missouri. But again, I guess it just depends on what you associate it with. All right, let's go back here. Give me a second. All right.
Was initially for Devlin to sexually assault Sean and then to kill him to get rid of the evidence. But Sean was really smart and he wanted to stay alive. I know it's difficult to even try to imagine. I have a 10-year-old little boy myself, and it's gut-wrenching to even try to picture a child having these type of survival instincts. He told his captor that if he was allowed to live, he wouldn't fight him. He would just go along with whatever he wanted him to do.
Yep. In order for him to survive this, and for him to, this little boy, smart as hell, just said, I will do whatever you want me to do. I will go along with what you want in order to live. Can you imagine? I can't. And he's still alive to this day because of it. Smartest, saddest decision that little boy ever made. I can't. It's ugh. All right, let's go back here.
In exchange for his life. And this worked. Devlin would keep Sean Hornbeck held captive for 4 grueling years, about 40 miles away from his parents' home. For the first month that Sean had been kidnapped, he was restrained. It felt as if his captor toyed with the idea of killing him, flip-flopping back and forth, deciding whether or not he could trust him enough to keep him alive. And when he wasn't abusing him, Devlin would strangle Sean to the point of unconsciousness, only stopping when he remembered that Sean agreed to keep quiet. He would be tormented.
I can't, this sick bastard. I'm so happy he's fucking rotting in jail, seriously. Can't even imagine. Cannot even imagine. I know, right, Van Luke? I know. I promise you this has a happy ending. Both of the boys have happy endings, I promise you. So, it may be gruesome now, just hang in there, I promise. I don't want to say it gets better, but you get my point.
By being awoken from his sleep every 45 minutes. After the first month, Devlin would leave Sean at home alone when he would go out for work or run errands. This was only after he had fully manipulated Sean into believing that his entire family would be killed if he tried to escape. And this is an 11-year-old little boy we're talking about, and a full-grown man. Sean fully believed that this man would kill him and his family if he were caught trying to get help, and he was absolutely terrified. While Sean was no longer being physically held captive, he was still in a mental prison. He was given some freedoms, including being allowed to watch TV, use the telephone, and even have access to the internet. One might question why he didn't use those opportunities to reach out to the police or his parents.
Yeah, he was, oh, God. So what Devlin would do was that he would play mind games, obviously, as you heard, with him, and say, oh yeah, you can watch TV, you can do this, you can do that, because he was, again, manipulating him and giving him those freedoms and seeing what he would do, if Sean would actually keep to his word, or if he would turn his back on him and turn him in and stuff. He was manipulating him to the nth degree. Oh, it's just so sick. So sick.
But his captor had immense emotional power over him, and Devlin kept guns in the home. So when he told him repeatedly that he would murder him and everyone he loved if he attempted to get help, Sean believed him. So instead, Sean prayed every night to be rescued, while still knowing that his parents loved him and missed him. And yet, he just couldn't push himself to reach out for help. However, there was one time where he came very close. One day, he was browsing the internet and he decided to search up his name to see what kind of activity was happening in his missing persons case. He really wanted to know if anyone was still looking for him, especially his parents, because Devlin had made him feel otherwise.
Can you imagine being being a kid, nonetheless, right? Being a kid, being held captive for your life, right? And imagining thinking to yourself, I wonder if anybody is looking for me. Like, it's so sad. I wonder if anybody is looking for me. Even remotely having that thought, that's, it's so sad. So fucking sad. I know, right? I can't even imagine.
Through his search, Sean found his parents' missing persons website that they had set up for him. The site included a contact point and discussion board where people could leave messages of support and prayer for his parents. Sean decided that he would leave a message himself, asking if he could write a poem about the missing Sean Hornbeck. He signed the message Sean Devlin, taking the last name of his abductor. Years later, his father would say that he saw the message, but he thought it was a fake message or spam, so he ignored it. I can't imagine finding that information out after the fact.
I didn't know that. That I did not know. Oh my God. I didn't know that part. Wow. I don't know how much more I can do, but knowing that it has a good ending, I can get through it, but still. Oh my God, I can't.
That my missing child was reaching out to me and I had ignored it. 4 years is a long time, so as the years passed, Sean would be allowed short stints outside of the home, where neighbors and people in the community would see him. But no one remembered his face as the child from the missing persons poster. If I'm being honest, I'm not sure I would really recognize a person after just seeing their picture on a poster, so I'm not really surprised that he was able to go under the radar for so long.
I'm not either. And considering the fact of how Devlin kept him and all that too. And later you'll get to the other boy too here in a second. That's, yeah. It's sad but true.
And again, he went by the name Sean Devlin, taking the last name of Michael Devlin. He told people that he was homeschooled by his father, who was really his captor. To pass the time...
Yeah, Devlin would pass him off as his son. God, I can't.
He would sleep and he would play video games. But of course, in between this, there would be lots of moments of abuse. One of the most shocking revelations from Sean's abduction is the fact that he had actually spoken to police on multiple occasions while he was a missing child. During one incident, approximately 10 months after his abduction, he filed a police report for his missing bike. He introduced himself at the police station as Sean Devlin, and he said that his bicycle had been stolen from outside of the apartment building where he lived.
Sorry, yeah. Yeah, he did that.
He gave no indication that he was a missing child that police were actively searching for. And this wasn't Sean's only interaction with law enforcement during those 4 years. On September 29th, 2006, An officer would stop Sean while he was riding his bike at night because he was wearing really dark clothing and he couldn't be seen. He also didn't have any reflectors on his bike, so the officer simply stopped him to take down his information and let him know that the drivers couldn't see him in the dark, and it was a hazard. Once again, he reported his name as Sean Devlin. And this time, he was asked his date of birth. He gave July 7th, 1991, which was actually just 10 days off from his real birthday. This happened years into Sean's missing person case, and it had been widely publicized by this time. Still, the officer didn't recognize him as the missing child, and so at this point, nothing was done.
God, I can't even imagine. Well, see, and that's the other thing, though, too, is that I've kind of mentioned this before. When it comes to cases like this with the police, and I think I mentioned this in my, and some other stories, too. I mentioned this in Thursday's story, and I think I mentioned this even on the broadcast when I did my Pam Hupp story, right? You just never know. The police can only do so much when it comes to cases like this, and I can't even begin to imagine what the police have to do and go through in order to stop cases like this, you know? Not everyone is perfect. Stuff happens. Hell, even, you guys heard, even his own father didn't even know that that was him sending out that message, you know? How are they, you know, no one is perfect in this case, and no one is, and with him being gone for so long, you know, I'm sure that his parents probably thought that he was dead, you know, or something. Did not think that he would be alive, you know, especially with how long he was gone for. I wouldn't think that my child was alive, or that a child that I knew was alive if I knew them in this circumstance. I wouldn't know what the heck to think. But, you know, thankfully, and again, with the way that this case was portrayed and the way that this case was worked, a lot of the media did pick up on it, and it was a big story, like I said, but it was kind of slid under the radar for a little bit. I can't remember exactly why, but, you know, it's like I said Thursday night, some of these stories unfortunately happen when it comes to, you know, kidnappings or murders or things like that, you know, but this one obviously hit a little close to home because of where it's at and, you know, and all that kind of thing, but yeah, I mean, it's sad. You can't, you know, thankfully, like I said, thankfully it all turned out well, and I can't even imagine if it didn't.
These encounters with the police, where Sean was by himself and had every opportunity to tell them who he really was and didn't, it just goes to show the high level of manipulation that Devlin used.
100%. 100%. Yeah, that's how sick this fucker was. Yeah, that's right. Getting feisty and spicy on this, yes. That's how sick this man was. Playing fucking mind games with a kid. A kid. Let me calm down. Playing mind... I can't.
But also, it is quite likely true that if Sean had attempted to escape and was caught, Devlin would have killed him.
Yep, 100%. 100%. I can't... Dang is right. I know.
He had nearly killed him several times before, and he had only stopped when promised that Sean would cooperate and never tell anyone. While their child was missing, Sean's parents worked tirelessly with investigators to try to find their son. They were ready to use every avenue available to them. They decided to attend a taping of the Montel Williams show featuring world-renowned psychic medium Sylvia Browne. And I say that sarcastically, not because I don't believe in psychics, but because Sylvia Browne has been proven to be a fraud and a scammer time and again, allegedly. Sean's parents had...
I vaguely remember that. When that happened. I had heard about that, I think, like, during the case or after the case was resolved. I remember hearing or seeing that, and I was like, well, then again, I was only... How old was I at the time? I think I had just turned, yeah, I was just getting ready to turn 21. So the fact that, and again, I was off doing whatever. I do remember this case when it came out vaguely, but again, I didn't really follow it too closely. But this, but yeah, I do remember hearing something about that afterwards, and I just thought that was just the craziest thing. I couldn't believe it.
Had the opportunity to ask Sylvia about Sean's disappearance, and here's what she had to say.
Please welcome Sean's parents, Pam and Craig, to the show.
Okay, who's old enough to remember this guy? I know the picture's not very clear, but who's old enough to remember this guy right here? Anybody? Does anybody know who this guy is? Yeah. So, for those of you who do not know, Montel Williams was a talk show host in the early 90s, or I'd say like during the 90s, like early 90s into the 2000s, obviously, because he was still on the air during this time. I don't, yeah, he's not on TV anymore. I'm not sure what happened with him. I don't remember. I'll have to look it up. But he had a talk show that was similar to Oprah in a sense. And he had them on here at one point during the whole thing. And yeah, that's, wow, that brings me back to this show.
You have done everything, almost everything conceivably possible to at least try to find a clue, something, from organizing search parties, and the community has gotten involved, and still yet not even a whim, is there? Is there any whim at all of what happened?
There's absolutely no evidence to support any kind of theory.
He left the house, he left the house at what time?
1:15.
And there were some children who said that they saw him at what time? Around 4.
There's been sightings up to 4:30.
But he was only traveling to a friend's house, which was 7/10 of a mile away, so he could have gotten there in 5 or 6 minutes. So what do you think? And none of his other friends anywhere
Yeah, that's
around saw him, correct? Between that time.
No, most the friends that he played with normally on a regular basis didn't see him that day. There were just some other kids that he normally didn't play with that have seen him.
Who did he know? Or who do you know of?
Does anybody know who this is? I vaguely remember her, but I remember seeing different things about her too. Ugh. Remember TV psychics and shit? Remember when that it used to be a thing? Oh God, can you even, like, who's another psychic nowadays? The medium. Why can I not think of her name? I am like having a brain fart. Who is the New York woman who claims that she's a medium? I cannot think of her name worth the life of me right now. Teresa, I think is. I know her first name is Teresa, but I can't remember what her show is. I know it's on TLC, but anyway. But yeah, that's kind of like what that. This was a earlier version of that, in my opinion. I feel ancient. Me and you both. Me and you both. Thank you, Long Island Medium. Thank you. Yes. That, it kind of reminds me of her in a sense, or she, yeah. In a way.
By the name of Keith.
Keith?
Is it a kid or adult?
No, it's a young kid. Because there's somebody by the name of Keith, a blonde kid, who saw him after this 4:30 period.
Doesn't ring any bells. We'll have
Well,
to
I'd ask. ask around because he doesn't live that far from where the friend is. Do you see what I mean? He wasn't a best friend, but he.
Can you, like, listen to her? Like, that. Red flags, dude. Red flags all over. But at the same time, though, at the time, I mean, I can't even begin to think what they were thinking or feeling during this whole thing. I'm sure that they were desperate, but still. Imagine, I'm sorry, but TV psychics like that, just that do these kind of things, I'm sorry. That's no. That's a big can of no for me. Like, I get it. You have a job or whatever you want to call it, fine. But how dare you impede on the vulnerability of not only of parents, but of people who are looking and are just like, who are looking for their missing child in this instance, right? And are so desperate to try to find their son. How dare you impede on this family's vulnerability just to get a quick buck? It's ridiculous. Yeah. You don't want to stop for red flags when your kid is missing. TV psychics are predatory in their own right. Exactly, Swatchin, exactly. You don't want to stop for... Exactly, yes. That's what I mean, is that I get where I understand to a certain extent, and I'm sure other people did too, why they did what they did, or they can't even begin to imagine. I get it, but how dare these TV psychics did this, like, for real, and how they were able to get away with it for as long as they were is absolutely asinine. That, again, they just, no.
Sort of goes in and out of the group because he was picked up in a blue-colored sedan by a guy by the name of Michael, and the last name sounds like
Is this somebody who lives in the area? Somebody passing through
somebody
the area?
passing through the area.
So
Somebody
was it
that
Sue?
area.
Sorry? What was that question?
Was it anybody that Sean knew?
No.
Was he abducted when you say picked up?
Yeah, abducted. Yeah.
He's grabbed.
Grabbed.
Is there any better description of the vehicle other than just a blue
The
sedan?
vehicle is a blue sedan, and I think it's a Chevrolet.
Wow. Okay. I may need to skip over this, actually. Well, I don't know. We'll see.
It's an older Chevrolet. It reminds me of what I had years ago, with the tail fins on them, which was around 58, 59.
So an old model car.
Old model car. I think they called them, what were they, Impalas?
Could've
Were
been
the
Impala.
Impalas? Yeah. Pretty sure it was Impala.
Is
Wow.
there any kind of a description of the person driving the car?
Yeah, the guy was dark-skinned, although he wasn't black. He was more Hispanic.
Wow. Way off there, lady. Jeez. I can't.
Looking. Had real long, dark hair, and strange enough, Hispanic, but he had dreadlocks.
Okay. What? What? Oh my god, this makes my head hurt. Oh, so happy that these people are no longer around, like legit. Oh my god, way off. Okay, did any one of you guys saw the mugshot? I can pull the mugshot back up again. Anybody see dreadlocks on this man, or see that he was Hispanic by any means? Like, what? Talk about talking out of your ass. Jeez. Hi, Pidgey. Doing okay. ragging on this old TV psychic lady here. Her name is Sylvia Brown. I don't know if you've ever heard of her before, but she was on the Montel Williams show with the parents of Sean Hornbeck, and when they were looking for him still, and she just gave a whack ass description of the little boy. Yeah, like ridiculous.
He was really tall and really almost like what you think a basketball player's build would be.
Can you tell how far from the area he was taken?
Maybe about 20 miles.
He's still within a 20-mile radius even
He's
now?
still within a 20-mile radius of, let's say, here's where you are, 20-mile radius, but it's really southwest of where you are.
Southwest.
So whatever is southwest, because it looks like this is, here we go again with the wooded, with the, you know, the wooded area. So southwest.
Oh, really? It's a wooded area? Oh, really? Gee, I wonder why. Really? Wooded my ass.
Is there any landmarks around?
Yeah, strangely enough, there are two jagged boulders which look really misplaced because everything is trees, and then all of a sudden you've got these stupid boulders sitting there.
And he could be found near
He's near the boulders.
Is he still with us?
Aha! See? Yeah, see? She just... Did you guys catch that? Did you guys catch that? Did you catch what she just said? What a quack. What a quack. Did anybody else hear that, or was that just me? Did you guys hear that too? I was in top chat, not live chat. Whoops. Okay. Did you get, like... Can you... She... This woman just straight up told them that he was dead, essentially. Actually, no, not essentially. He did. She did. Wow. Like, I can't. Oh my god, I can't even imagine. Dude, I would be suing the pants off of her. I wonder if they did. Probably not. Yeah. Truthfully, in cases like that, I don't know what I would do, honestly. I can sit here and say, oh, I would sue the hell out of her. I don't know that for certain. I can't say that, and I don't want to, but if I would hope or think that if I were them, I would, but okay. Crazy.
You see the bicycle anywhere?
I think see, here's what's strange. I think the bicycle is in another state in a dump.
Look at the mom. Look at her. Look at the mom. Like, she is about ready to flip and lose it. Look at her.
Let me take a little break. We'll be back
sorry, guys.
after this.
So, a few things to note here. She wasn't completely wrong in her vision. Sean had been picked up by a man named Michael, but Michael is one of the most common names in all of North America.
Yep.
He had not been seen by any boy named Keith or picked up in a blue old Chevrolet.
Yep.
As for Michael Devlin, the man who had actually abducted Sean, he wasn't tall like a basketball player. The worst thing of all that she lied about was that their missing child, Sean Hornbeck, was deceased.
Yep. That was I can't even imagine being told not only by that your child is obviously passed on, but by a psychic and her being wrong. I mean, Again, that's why I say if I were them, I probably would have sued them. But again, like I said, I can sit here and say, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that. No, I don't know if I would do that, honestly, and I can't sit there and say that. But, it's just so sickening. I hope she steps on Legos with no shoes. Squash it. You nicer than me. You're nicer than me. That's not what I hope she does. Wow. Love you, Squatchin. Thank you. I can't even. Okay. It's almost done.
Sean's mother asked if he was still with us, and Sylvia nods no. And his mother just breaks down at this point. It is one of the most cruel things that I think I've ever seen someone do to another human being. Sadly, at this point, Pam has no idea that her boy is still very much alive and within reach. They knew that it was a very real possibility that their son was deceased.
Well, yeah, I would, again, like I said, I would be thinking that my child was dead because of how long that he was gone for, right? But, like, wow. Wait till you guys hear how they found him. Just wait.
And so they created a memorial site at a park with a plaque where they could go to feel connected to him. But even with that nagging feeling at the back of her brain, Pam did not give up. Along with Sean's stepfather, Craig, they set up a foundation called the Sean Hornbeck Foundation, and it assisted with funds and resources to look for missing and abducted children. They would basically put all of their life savings into this cause for the next 4.5 years. And then, on January 8, 2007, Michael Devlin would make a very big mistake. Sean was getting older now, which meant that he started looking older, and he wasn't exactly Devlin's type anymore.
Yeah, typical kidnapper slash rapist slash pedophile. Once they get to a certain age, they start to look old, even though they're not old at all, and then they want to find somebody new and fresh. Oh, God. Oh, it's so sick. Sick. More like tax and mousetraps. Purple. It was that or 1,000 paper cuts and a lemon juice bath. In between, in between every finger. Oh, you too, I swear. And toes. Thank you, Purple and Squatchin. Thank you. I needed that. No, I'm being legit. I'm not being sarcastic. I needed that. Thank you. Oh, God. Thank you for getting us through. Thank you for the lols while we get through this story. Oh, we needed that. Thank you. Purple and I are diabolical. I don't know if I go that far, but no, you two are great. Oh, God. Oh, man. All right, yeah, this is almost done. Let us continue.
For this reason, Devlin decided that it was time to abduct another young boy. He would see 13-year-old Ben Ownby standing at a bus stop in Beaufort, Missouri. Ben looked very young for his age. Without really thinking it through and ensuring there wasn't anyone around to see, he grabbed Ben and he threw him into his white truck. Thankfully, Ben's friend, 15-year-old Mitchell Holtz, was also near a bus stop and he saw the whole thing happen. He called the police and he gave them a description of Devlin and the truck that he was driving. According to Ben's parents, he was described as both a straight-A student and a responsible young man who always told his parents where he was going and what time he would be home. So when Ben didn't return home after school, his parents jumped into action right away by calling all of his friends and their neighbors to see what they knew.
Mm-hmm.
This is when they learned about that sighting of the white truck driving erratically away from the bus stop, likely with Ben in it, and the connection was made.
Oh, good for them that they realized it right away. Good for them. Good for them. Yeah. Yeah. Criminals be dumb, dude. Like, there are some smart, and I'm using that term very loosely, smart criminals out there that, like I've said this before, that have gotten away with quite a bit. Like what people thought with him, with Michael Devlin, was that, like I said in the beginning, it was thought, or he was accused rather, of kidnapping or having something to do with the disappearance of other boys. One of them was a girl, if I remember looking it up correctly. One of them was a girl, but they weren't just in Missouri. There was another boy that he was accused of kidnapping and I think murdering, in Michigan. But unfortunately, there was no evidence to substantiate the claims with that one, so that one never went through. That one, I believe, if I remember looking it up before, is still a cold case, I think. But yeah, so this wasn't his first go around, sadly. Hold on, let me see if I can pull that up here. Okay, there we go. So.
Because this was an abduction with a child, the FBI became involved in the investigation very early on. With the detailed witness account, they were able to quickly identify the truck in question.
Mm-hmm.
And as it turned out, there was a pizzeria manager named Michael Devlin who owned a truck matching the description. 2 FBI agents decided to pay Devlin a visit at work to ask him a few questions in relation to Ben's bus stop abduction. They asked him if they could search his truck, and he gave them permission. I mean, he doesn't really have a choice, does he? While one officer began to look through the truck, Devlin sat in the back of the FBI car, fumbling over questions that the other officer was asking him.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, he mentions having to get home to his son, Sean. As the FBI officer pushed further with his questioning, Michael Devlin broke down and he confessed to everything.
Yep, caught him red-handed, yep. The guilt of everything just got to him, and yep. Mm-hmm. So thankfully, in this regard, Ben wasn't missing for very long. So thank God for that he was able to be found right away. But yeah, that's how he got caught. Mm-hmm. I love dumb criminal stories, right? I'll have to see if I can find another dumb criminal story that we can laugh at and have fun at. I'm sure that there's plenty. For those of you who are actually, while I'm thinking about it, real quick, but for those of you who are in my Discord, or you don't have to necessarily be in my Discord, but you can DM me on Twitter if you want. I am open to stream topics for anybody that wants to drop any to me, and I can consider them. Or you can DM me in Discord, or you can DM me on Twitter. Whatever story ideas that you guys may have that I either am familiar with or don't know anything about that you want me to cover, I can do that. I'm totally open to it. At the end of the stream, I'm gonna go over a few other things with me that I just want to update you guys on and just keep you guys posted on. So, hi, Spectre. Doing all right, Spec? I demand that you feel better. Yes, we demand you feel better, sir. We demand it. Take all the NyQuil, vitamin C, all of the things. Yes.
He said that he had Ben Ownby back at his apartment along with Sean Hornbeck, who had been missing for over 4 years. Michael Devlin referred to himself as a quote-unquote bad person. Yeah, and I agree. When the FBI broke down Devlin's apartment door, they found Sean and Ben sitting on the couch playing video games together. Both boys were rescued alive, and that fact alone was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The story of their recovery spread like wildfire.
Yeah, so they were found alive. This is why I say this is a happy ending. They are alive. And yes, they are. I'll have to look it up. They're like in their early 20s now, late 20s now, something like that. So, yes, they are alive. That's why I say that this story has a happy ending. Thank God for that. Want to keep the topic as serial killers and stuff? Canada has some fucked up stories. I mean, sure. I mean, Squatchin, if you know of any that you think that I might like, I mean, we can always go over it. I mean, it doesn't matter. It can be serial killers. It can be any type of... Really, I'm open to any suggestion, any criminal stories like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be serial killers. It can be anything criminal related or whatever you think I might like. Yeah. Thank you all. I shall attempt. No, there is no shall. You shall do. Ha ha. Pulling a Yoda on you. Exactly. Do or do not spec. There is no try. Exactly. Talking to... Yeah. We're a bunch of nerds. It's okay, though. Missing people stuff, too? Sure. Yeah. I mean, again, I'm open to any type of suggestions that you think that might be interesting. It can be... Like I said, it can be anything like that related. That's fine. So, let's get back to this then. Hold on. This is almost done. I promise.
With people referring to it as the Missouri Miracle. Investigators recognized Ben right away. He had only been missing for the last 4 days, but it took them a bit to realize who this teenager with dark, sweeping hair and piercings was. Sean looked much different than the 11-year-old little boy who had been taken off his bicycle. On January 12, 2007, Sean's parents, Pam and Craig, received a phone call that they never thought would come. They were actually driving at the time that the call came in, and the attorney knew the news would be so shocking that he told them that they needed to pull over. Not only had their son been found, but he was alive. It was the best news that they could have ever received, and yet it was still shocking to their core. Somehow, after 4.5 years of being held by a sick monster and abused, Sean survived, and he was ready to be reunited with his family.
I can't even imagine. See, that's why... Yep, now y'all know why this is known as the Missouri Miracle. Yep.
Sean's mom, Pam, would say that although he looked very different than the little boy that she remembered, she immediately recognized his face as her son. He had all of the same features that she had lovingly adored as she watched him grow as a child, and yet something was very different about him. He had gone through a lot of trauma that had...
Look at that. Now I believe it was just... Now I looked it up a little bit ago. It was just Sean that appeared on Oprah when all this was first coming out. I don't believe Ben did. They featured him, but I don't think that he didn't ever go on the show. But yeah, look at that. It makes me so happy.
Changed him and matured him. They were told that he had gone through years of abuse and that they weren't to press him on it. He would talk about it in his own time. This was really just the beginning for Sean, who would have to go through extensive therapy for what he went through. He appeared on many different talk shows, including Oprah, where he spoke about how he prayed to be rescued every day, and he held out hope that his parents were still looking for him. It was the only thing that got him through those days. Now he was home, and he had a lot of catching up to do.
I can't even imagine being a kid, being found after being with a serial rapist, kidnapper, all of that, being found and having to go back to a normal life. Like, that's... I can't. I can't even begin to fathom that. Like, legit. I really can't. I love me a good Yoda quote. Hell yeah, Squatchin'. Hell yeah, we all love Yoda here. Okay, yeah, just let me know, Squatchin'. I'm open. I was a serial killer for Halloween. I had a cereal box with an axe through. Purple. Oh God, purple. If I gotta see a picture of that. I gotta see a picture of that. That's great. If you're willing, you don't have to. But if you're willing to share a picture of that, I would love to see that. Oh my God, that's great. We do Halloween big here too. Yeah, Halloween is Mr. Huck's favorite holiday. And we try to go big every year for it. Let us continue.
He discovered that his parents had kept his bedroom exactly the way that he left it for when he was found. But there were a lot of other changes, including all of his childhood friends who had grown up and his baby sister who had married. Sean also spoke about Ben Ownby, the other boy who had been taken and was mostly quiet now during this time. He talked about how he may have never been discovered if not for Ben. Sean said, quote, "I feel thankful that he held in there for those couple of days, and I'm sorry for what he went through because I told myself a long time ago I never want any other kid to go through what I went through. But I am thankful for him for holding in there, and I'm happy that he's back with his family."
Exactly, yes. Exactly, 100%. Even though it was shitty, the circumstances behind it and how everything came about, thankfully he has been found, or that he was able to, like I said before, it was still traumatic, I'm sure. I can't even begin to imagine for both of them. More so, obviously because Sean was there longer, but very traumatic for the both of them, and for Ben too. Don't get, I get it 100%. Agree with what Sean said in that statement. But it was a blessing in disguise, because if Ben wouldn't have gotten kidnapped, then Sean probably or never would have been found, and he would have been dead. Like, it's so crazy how these things work out sometimes. And thankfully it worked out for the best. So, all you can ask for.
As for Michael Devlin, the monster behind it all, he was charged with numerous offenses, including kidnapping, molestation, use of a deadly weapon, and child pornography. He had basically been caught red-handed, so he pled guilty to the charges, and he was sentenced to 74 years behind bars.
Mm-hmm.
He was also given an additional 2,020 years, which, seems a bit redundant, but he won't be eligible for parole until he's 100 years old, if he makes it that long in prison. In 2011, he was attacked by another inmate and stabbed with a shank, allegedly due to the nature of his crimes. We all know how child predators are treated behind bars.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Hornbeck.
Yep. He got stabbed in prison. Yep. But then again, that was in 2011, so that was like, what? I gotta do math now. That was quite a while ago. 12 years ago now. And yeah, but oh, it's just crazy. Crazy.
And Ben Ownby
It's
would
almost
move
over.
on with their lives the best that they could while continuing to live in the St. Louis area. Sean would get married and become a father. The foundation created in his name to assist with finding other missing children, it was disbanded in 2013 due to a lack of resources, and they have since thrown their support behind other organizations with similar missions. As an interesting side note related to this case, true crime investigator and writer Michelle McNamara, she started looking at this story when Sean's case was going cold and the tips stopped coming in. She was actually very close to figuring out many of the details of this case prior to the police finding both boys. Actually, she was one of the first people to make the connection between Ben's abduction and Sean's abduction. Michelle would also lead the investigation into the Golden State Killer, but sadly, she died at just 46 years old before he was caught and sentenced. In my opinion, the story of Sean Hornbeck and Ben Ownby serves as an important reminder to never give up hope and to never stop looking. I'm not talking about the parents of missing children. They will never give up. I'm talking about the rest of us. There are so many missing children right now, and more being taken every single day. And there's a very real opportunity to drive more awareness, which in turn can save more lives. This
Agreed.
is one of the biggest and most important reasons why many true crime podcasts, enthusiasts, and web sleuths do what we do.
Yep.
That's it for me tonight.
100%. So yeah, that's that story. So, bury him under the jail? Exactly. Yeah. So, that's the story. So, hopefully y'all enjoyed that. Thankfully there was a happy ending with this, and the boys are all well and good, and, you know, Devlin is where he belongs, under the jail and then some. So, well, at least he's not, well, not yet under the jail, but you get my point. So, that's my story. So before we end it here, I'm gonna probably head out here in a few minutes, but, I wanted to kind of briefly first of all, I hope that you guys enjoyed that. Again, I apologize for me not being very awake or enthusiastic today, but I figured that I'd just stream and just get this story going. I know I promised I would stream today and all that, so I hope you guys enjoyed that story. Sorry if I fumbled a little bit with it too. I'll do better next time, I promise. So, like I said before, I'm open to suggestions. Anybody that has suggestions for me, feel free to, you know, either drop them in my Discord or DM me on Twitter, whatever you feel, is whatever you guys want to do. I'm open to them and we can talk about it and figure it out. But I kind of briefly thought about this yesterday and I said something about it in my Discord too. So over these next few weeks are going to be kind of hectic for me as far as scheduling goes. So I'm not sure when I'll be able to stream again. I'm hoping that I can get something scheduled here soon. I'm thinking that I'm going to try to have a more consistent schedule after Memorial Day weekend. But again, June is always crazy June is already starting to look like it's going to be crazy for me too. So I may try to get in a stream or two, like maybe during the week or something. I'm not sure yet. But I do plan on having a more consistent schedule in June. The week of the 16th through the 23rd, we'll be in Colorado, so I'll be gone for a week, but hopefully after that things will start to die down schedule wise and we can hopefully get more streams going. So hi Rennie, hello, welcome. You are here, yes. We just got done with the story. So yeah, like I said, hopefully here within the next few weeks I'll have a more consistent schedule. It's just the IRL life is just crazy, especially with summer coming up and Baby Huck's last day of school is here soon. So Memorial Day weekend, I may try to see if I can throw in a stream, you know, just to, you know, talk and chit chat and stuff. I don't know, maybe put out a vote as to whether or not we should do a tier list. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. You know, just to get, because I do want to start streaming more because I'm starting to get more comfortable with it and I'm starting to get more adjusted. It's just that, like I said, with my crazy schedule, sometimes it's just kind of hard to do. So I just want to, but keep a lookout starting in June for a more consistent schedule. Hopefully I'll have all that down. And if it changes, then it changes, you know, obviously that's, you know, it is what it is. But, and I'm also looking more towards to doing other topics too, here and there. Maybe, trying to think of what else. I'm open to other topics too. possibly not just true crime. You know, so whatever you guys think that I may like, I can talk about, I'll talk about. You know, I can give different opinions on, so we'll see. Well, hello, Victor Burns. So, yeah. So, hope you guys enjoyed that story, though. But I'm gonna go ahead and head out of here in a few minutes. I'll put up, you know, thank you all for coming out today. I do appreciate it. I'll put out, you know, a poll later this week about what to talk about next and things like that if anything else comes up. So, but yeah, I appreciate everybody coming out today. I'm sorry this is so short. It's just, I'm getting kind of tired and I, need to get stuff ready for before tonight. So, but yeah, you guys have a good day and I will talk to you all later. All right? Bye, guys.